Well, guys, it's been confirmed that on October 7th, 2025, Need for Speed Rivals will be no more. That's it. Well, at least the online section. Unfortunately, this means that the game servers, which are quite a big part of this game, but not the most integral at least, are going to be switched off. EA are pulling the plug. Why are they doing this? Why now? Well, we're going to get into that in a few minutes. And also, it'd be great to reminisce on this game. Now, before we do get into all of this, just a few things first. Because with these old games, it can get a bit swept under the carpet. But with Need for Speed Rivals, there's two things you should look into doing, especially if you're on a console like me. The first things first is if you're a trophy collector, you know, you want to collect the trophies, get the platinums, which the platinum on this game is going to basically be locked forever, then you need to get the two following trophies, which are number 1, friendly race. Win a race against a friend. That's quite easy. So make sure you got your friend added on EA's system in the game. That way you'll be able to add each other in Rivals. So you can't just do this on the PlayStation or Xbox Live networks. It has to be through EA. So, and of course the game's not crossplay, so it has to be, basically you have to make sure you got your friend on both EA and whatever system you're playing to get that trophy / achievement. And the second one is buddy bust, where you bust a friend. So you got to win a race and then you got to arrest them. It's quite easy to choreograph. It can take you minutes to get done. Then the rest of the trophies are all offline. So you don't need the online to do them. You'll smash them out. You can just enjoy it at your own pace. So highly advise that. Make sure you get those trophies done. They will not be able to be done again, at least legitimately, after October 7th. Secondly, make sure you get yourself the DLCs. Because once the DLCs are gone, that's it. Those cars are gone forever. I did get them. I bought the complete edition of the game. But I had a look through. The best way to find them, if you're not sure if you've got them or not, head through to the PlayStation Store on Need for Speed Rivals. It will give you all the information there. I believe you can still buy them through PlayStation Store. So if you don't own them, now's the time to get them. They shouldn't be too expensive. And that would be fantastic. There's some really nice cars as well. Sometimes Jaguars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, stuff you're going to want to drive through this fantastic world. It's honestly an amazing game. So please get yourself the DLCs. They're not too expensive. I mean, if you're on PC, none of this matters too much, but maybe it's still legit. Maybe you still want the ownership. So if you're on PC, I'd advise all of this as well. I know there's going to be a lot more freedom for the PC guys with all the modding and hacking you guys can do. And there are times I wish I had a gaming PC still. I made the decision to swap to Mac because I thought PS5 would do the job, which in fairness it does. But when it comes to things like this, you guys are able to preserve the games in their entirety. Of course, as well, unfortunately, you will not be able to get the Overwatch cars, which are the Maserati Gran Turismo and the Bentley Continental police cars. Unfortunately, those cars are lost forever, and I wish EA or someone at Criterion / Ghost at the time, I know it's Criterion now, I just wish someone went in, give them a cup of coffee, unlock the cars, release a new update. It probably wouldn't have taken too long to do that, to be honest, let's be real. But unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbles. This was at a time when companion apps were all the rage. Now they're not. People really don't care for companion apps. But that's life. It is what it is. They're not important cars, at least, but from the sense of preservation and ownership, it is a bit frustrating. So that does lead me to the big part of the topic as well. Just make sure you sign the Stop Killing Games stuff. Links in the description. Sign up to all of it. Honestly, they're doing a great job. Thankfully, this isn't a Crew / Ubisoft situation. So yeah, that stuff's all fine. Honestly, the game will continue to run without online support. So you can continue to play this for many years to come. Unfortunately, you won't be able to play with your mates anymore. I guess if you're on PC, it won't take long. If they might have even done it already, there'll be servers and people getting these games ready for basically a handover. They'll probably just take over from day one. It is highly possible. And if you're involved in any of that, shout out to you. You're the reason games stay alive. My view on it, unfortunately, games do get shut down. It is part of it, so I can understand EA's point of view. So at least there are enthusiasts and fans who do want the games to continue, and they'll do so. Because of course, I'm not the biggest fan of Need for Speed Rivals, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my thoughts on the game in a minute. But I like when games have community bases, and this one actually does. It still has quite a bit of a community going, and a lot of people still view it as the best car combat Need for Speed. You know, comparing it to Hot Pursuit Remastered or Hot Pursuit 2010. Yeah, honestly, this is probably the better one for a lot of people. I find it's better for me, but I really like Hot Pursuit as well. I like both, to be honest. I like the freedom of this game and the open worldness. Now, why is the game shutting down now? Well, I think, to be honest, the big answer is probably due to Battlefield 6. That game is going to be massive. Criterion are a co-developer on that game and are a support studio. Probably makes sense to make a few moves now, turn off the servers, so that way they have full capacity for when that game comes out. I played Battlefield 6. I really enjoyed it. Not as much as a Need for Speed game, but I appreciated it. It's probably going to be a hell of a lot better than Black Ops 7, because that game is looking like a bit of a mess at the moment with how they've treated fans for so many years. Now, that's neither here or there, but that looks like it's the main reason why it's shutting down. It's to make way for Criterion's involvement with Battlefield. There are also rumours that we might be getting either a new Most Wanted remaster. Unfortunately, that's Most Wanted 2012. I'm annoyed. If they're going to remaster it, I would like at least a remastered version of 2005 as well. Just give us both games, honestly. I mean, it's EA. They'll have the money, and the amount they would make from a remaster of Need for Speed Most Wanted. You know, yeah, just release both. Let's have both games. Most Wanted 2012 is not a bad racing game. I felt let down by it, but yeah, let's just do that. It also could be a sign that the new Need for Speed's on its way, especially after this. Criterion will probably step back from Battlefield and put all of their focus into the new Need for Speed. You know, it's an IP that does need some attention again. They've just wrapped up on Unbound, and they did a phenomenal job with Unbound. You know, I'll give them credit. Actually, that was a bit of a comeback from EA, Criterion, and the Need for Speed brand as a whole. So well done, everyone. Good job. The DLCs, the race passes, it was actually all pretty good, and it was some really good nods to the fans who've come from throughout the ages. A lot of respect for the Underground, Most Wanted, Hot Pursuit guys. Yeah, I give them credit. They did a good job. So my thoughts on Need for Speed Rivals, and wow. The game for me, I was struggling a lot with Need for Speed Burnout, as I was with Call of Duty Burnout as well. I was done with both franchises in a way. Need for Speed at the time was feeling a little bit like, why couldn't they just do an Underground freestyle racing game? It's all we wanted, let's be real. And it did lead to that, and 2 years later, they finally got the message. But at the time, Need for Speed had been in a bit of a lull. The early 2010s were very rocky for the series. To give you a recap, after the heights of Most Wanted, they quickly rushed out with Carbon, which ended up becoming a sequel to Most Wanted, but it also kind of really wasn't. It is, yes, in linear terms, and the handling as well, but it really felt like a rush job. There was a few afterthoughts, and the game could be completed in not even a day. You could complete it in a few hours as speed runs of it. And then Pro Street came out. Wasn't a big fan of Pro Street. I just couldn't get along with that game. I know some people love it. If you love it, more power to you, man. For me, just didn't quite get with it. I think now I'm older, I appreciate the concept a lot more, but I liked open world cops and street racing. I like the urban outlaw stuff. You know, there's Gran Turismo and stuff for more traditional track racing. Need for Speed's home is in the open world street racing, whether that's a Hot Pursuit style or an Underground style. I really don't care, as long as it's just that. So afterwards, they tried to go back to their roots a little bit with Undercover. Undercover was a glitchy mess. Then Shift came out, and I was actually doing Formula Cadet go-karting at the time, so I actually kind of gelled with it because I was starting to learn a lot about GT racing, because 11-year-old me genuinely wanted to be a racing driver, so I kind of used to watch as much racing as I could, so I knew a lot about GT racing, like the ALMS, FIA GT, but it wasn't Need for Speed, but I appreciated it as a little standalone spin-off, nothing against that. Hot Pursuit comes out, revamps the series, everyone's like back on it. It's like, okay, Need for Speed's got some push to it. Hot Pursuit's not a perfect game, but it's a pretty good game. I think nowadays everyone looks at that and goes, yeah, solid. Then we ended up with the 2011 The Run, and we had Shift 2 as well in the same year. So we had 2 games in 1 year. And Shift 2 Unleashed was actually pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. It was better than Shift 1, a little bit more refined, but still let down. Just wasn't for me. Like, there was some cool parts of it though. I liked the Formula Drift experience. Also, yes, we then ended up with The Run. The Run as a concept now, I think it's amazing, especially since we've had Need for Speed the movie, but that's it, man. It wasn't a great game. The Run was broken and glitchy, which is a shame because in some cases it was actually a really good Need for Speed. Like, the physics engine and everything was awesome, and some of the cutscenes and races you could do were fantastic, but it just didn't quite put it together. They did revive it with some DLC, but this is literally where the burnout was coming in. And then Most Wanted gets announced, and everyone's like, oh, we're getting Most Wanted 2, and it just ended up being Burnout Fairhaven. That's what it was. It wasn't a Need for Speed game. A lot of people have grown sympathetic of Criterion since, because a lot came out to find out actually the game that came out wasn't what was planned. It was a last minute get something out because EA was stepping in. So at this point, I'm having a bit of fatigue. I'm just not enjoying Need for Speed. And when Rivals came out, it was the first Need for Speed I bought that wasn't on launch. You know, I didn't ask for my parents to have it or anything. You know, I was a kid at the time, so yeah, I didn't use my own pocket money or anything. Like, the point is, I just didn't commit to this game until later on at Christmas. Once I heard some reviews, saw some video, and people went, actually, this is a solid game. Like, it's not the best Need for Speed, but it's pretty good. I bought it on PC on EA Origin. I had a good time with it, actually. Nothing too memorable, but I enjoyed what was there. And it felt like a step in the right direction. You know, it felt like, okay, there's something here. But it wasn't what I wanted. I really wanted Most Wanted Underground back. Yeah, car customization had come back a little bit, but there was just some liveries and, you know, you could put some decals on a car and that was about it. I am willing to accept that customization and performance were not the key parts of Need for Speed Rivals. The main part was open world of Redview County, and my word, they actually did something really cool. The whole seamless transition from race to pursuit to everything, like, the game wouldn't stop. And actually, I look back at that and go, that was really cool. I've recently been playing Need for Speed Heat, and I've been doing some of the nighttime events where you could tell they took some of the assets from Rivals. And I love when a race, even though it ends, you're still driving. Like, you still got to keep going. You know, you could win your race in Need for Speed Rivals, and that would be awesome, and then you've still got to deal with the cops behind you. The fact that you could go to any event and just start it and the world would carry on. You know, your friends could join you in that event as well. You could do head-to-heads. You could have one-on-ones. It was awesome, man. And it was actually done really well. I mean, it got a little bit chaotic. And something I've noticed in the more recent years, which isn't the fault of anyone, is with all these old games, there's going to be a community of fans that will commit to it and own that game. And more power to you guys. And I hope you find solutions to enjoy this game one way or another. What I found a little bit frustrating is when you do go onto an online server and you're not as experienced, there is a little bit of manipulation of the game, which is not illegal, not wrong or anything like that. It's just these guys know everything about the game engine in and out, and if you're being a racer, they'll come and bully you as cops. If you're a cop, they'll still find a way to just keep going in and out of the gas stations, and it's just a mess. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's just how these guys play. You know, they know the score. They know how to maximize their bounty and score points. Sorry, so speed points, is it? Yeah, speed points. Being a cop in this game is actually really fun too. I actually prefer the street racing side. I'm naturally into the more. I like being chased, but being the chase is fun as well, and it definitely felt like it took some of the best elements of Hot Pursuit, made it into an open world game, gave you a nice flexibility of cars, and it was awesome. So yeah, a lot of appreciation. I know the cop career was a little bit easier. You didn't lose money, you just gained, so you could just accrue millions and millions of speed points, and you could just buy everything you need and go from there. You unlocked a car just by doing the little campaign menus. Of course, each segment of the game had 3 little speed lists, and you just went through and did them, and if you did all of them, you had all the cars. And of course, with the racer campaign, you'd have to spend money. You know, you had to buy the upgrades, whereas the cop campaign, all you had to do was buy your pursuit braking stuff, you know, your turbo and everything like that. Not turbo, that's actually a racing side of things, but like your spike strips, for example, you had to buy everything from those cases, but nothing to do with actual car performance. So in regards to how the game equalized between racers and cops, yeah, it is a little bit okay, yeah, it's a little bit iffy sometimes, but it was still really good overall. This game was not perfect, but it probably did do a lot of good, both bringing fans back to Need for Speed and at least giving them something to enjoy, because 2 years later Need for Speed 2015 would come out, and actually that's why Rivals feels a little bit lost. Behind it is Most Wanted, which is, you know, Most Wanted 2012, one of the most hated Need for Speeds of all time, the biggest letdown potentially. And then you had Need for Speed 2015, which I actually didn't enjoy as much as Rivals. I loved the car building, customization, graphics. It was a gorgeous game, but the handling wasn't great. The story was a bit cheesy, but it was still a pretty cool vibe overall. My point stands though, this game just feels a bit lost in the middle of that, which is why it kind of gets forgotten in a lot of cases. You know, I forgot about it. It wasn't until a few years ago I went, oh, Rivals, that was a fun game, and I went back and played it and enjoyed it. And last year I went and got my platinum trophy as well, just to make sure I had it, because I had a feeling that, you know, one day they're going to shut down the servers, and I was right. It was coming, you know, I had a little bit more time, but hey, you know, you got to get these done when you can sometimes. So yeah, it was a bit of a shame to hear that this game is shutting down, and I think it's a shame that it is a little bit of a footnote in Need for Speed's history. It's, you know, people don't remember much of it, but I know there is a dedicated fan base that absolutely love it, and if you love this game, then more power to you. Honestly, it's just awesome, because it is a really good game. It's not the best Need for Speed. I mean, if you ask me what the best Need for Speed is at the moment, of course I would say Most Wanted 2005 is my favourite, but if I wanted to be a bit more modern, I'd say I really like Heat. Unbound's really good as well, but Heat's got a vibe to it. That's a personal take. Unbound is still pretty solid as well. In fact, I think Unbound as a DLC game that was built on, I think it did really well in its longevity. The game actually got better with age, that one, you know, aged like fine wine. Heat's kind of just got forgotten because of Criterion taking over, and then Ghost Games getting shut down, and all the staff being disbanded. But that's neither here or there. But Rivals will be the game that, in my opinion, restarted Need for Speed. 2015 was the game to really take the concept forward to what we got with Payback, Heat, and Unbound. But Rivals started that. You know, it gave the series direction. We had a developer that was really on board with it, and it meant we had some direction. People, they were listening to community, people knew what they wanted, so it meant there was opportunity available for Ghost Games and EA to get it right. And you know what, in some cases they've not been perfect, but they've listened. They have listened, they've tried. I don't think it's perfect, Need for Speed in general, but you know, they did what we wanted. We wanted more underground racing and more Most Wanted. We got more underground and Most Wanted. We got the best bits of it. I think Heat became the magnum opus of all of this, and unfortunately that game just got not shut down, but the support ended early and it got forgotten about quickly because they needed to prepare for Unbound with Criterion. As well as that being the game's legacy, one thing that we do need to think about, and going back to what I said at the beginning of the video with stop killing games, is the offline legacy patches. Now, we're very lucky that Rivals was built to be an offline game as well. You can switch off your Wi-Fi and you can run this game no problem at all. That means when the servers are gone, it'll run like normal. Maybe you might have to reset the settings to single player and stuff like that. That'll probably be the best advice after October 7th. Truth is, once that's all done, the game will run like normal. It'll feel a bit empty, but it'll work, and that's the main thing. For me, this is the minimum of what games should be. You know, when you buy a game, everyone knows one day the servers are going to shut off, but I like that there is like legacy plans. Gran Turismo Sport, for me, got it spot on. You know, it was an online only game and they made it an offline game And I expect that really from everyone, because I think, you know, we've put the money in. The least they can do is make sure we can still use this product. Credit to EA, that's fine with this one. You know, I don't think they really thought about it. It's just how the game was built. 2015, that's a game that's causing some alarm right now, because it is an online only game. It only works if you're connected to the internet. So I'm hoping, with EA in general seem to be listening to fan bases a bit more, when the day comes that needs to be 2015 will need to be shut down. I don't think it will be immediately. I think it's still got a few more years on it. I'd like to think by then they will have already said, oh, by the way, we're going to patch this so you can still use your product. And if they did that for every Need for Speed and every game they produce, they've already gone up in my books as a developer, you know, because I think a lot of games need to be built in with end of life support to make sure that you can still access them when the servers go night-night. So, but at least for Rivals, for now, we're safe, all right? And every other Need for Speed prior to that is fine. The weird thing to add to this is Most Wanted 2012 is still staying up. Don't really know why. That's why I was talking a little bit about the fact that there might be a remaster of 2012 on the way. I'm not ruling it out. That might still be fun. If it comes out and they do remaster it, I'm willing to give it another go, especially if we are waiting a bit for a new Need for Speed, just because the development teams aren't around at the moment to do it. If it fills in the gap and gives us something new to do, I feel like as a game, that's quite fun. If they changed it to Need for Speed Fairhaven and got rid of all the Most Wanted branding, I'd actually think it's a fun little Need for Speed in its own right. So I hope that they do something in the next year or so. We do get a new Need for Speed. We are due one. And if it is a remaster to bridge the gap, you know, look, they're trying to make a good job with Battlefield. And Need for Speed has had a lot of good support post-launch. So I'm more than happy for them to go, hey, you know what, just give us a remaster for a year. Just give us a really good remaster of any Need for Speed, as long as it's actually good. If they did what they did with Hot Pursuit, which, to be real, was a really good remaster. It wasn't perfect, but it was still solid. I'm happy with what else they want to do, and yeah, I think they'll do a good job. I'm quite confident in EA at the moment. I'm optimistic, but I know they can mess things up. They are known to do it. We all know it. I've been an F1 fan. I've played the F1 games, and since they've taken over, the F1 25 is not great. I did a video on it recently. Go and check it out. But the truth is, overall, yeah, EA are doing some W's right now. And we got to give them credit, and we got to let them do that. You know, let's keep that push on. Keep signing up to Stop Killing Games, you know, petitions, get in contact with your local member of parliament if you're in a Commonwealth country like the United Kingdom, or your representative in the US. I'm not 100% what you guys use. Do apologize. Senators, the House of Representatives, yeah, just get in touch with whoever represents you, because this is important. But I'm happy to say, you know what, Rivals are safe. All right, just make sure you get yourself the DLCs. And when it comes to racing games, unfortunately, this is a part of what we have in particular, because there's a lot of licensed content. I accept that these games do have to be taken off the air in regards to the store. So just make sure you get your DLCs and, you know, show some more love. And, you know, there's some nice cars. If you didn't pick it up, do it. Like, actually, you could have a lot of fun with some of the cars. The Gallardo's immense. The wings are bombastic. But yeah. Anyway, slightly different video. Bit of a rambling, podcasty style. Bit old school YouTube. I like doing these videos. So if you want more of this, let me know. I'll produce it. It's good fun to make. I've just enjoyed just sitting here spewing stuff at a microphone and seeing what comes to mind. I've literally got like a small notes page, and I've gone, yeah, that'll do it. That's fine. And just sort of seeing what comes out, because this is the content I want to create. I want to make a channel that is me, and this is me. This is the most me I could get. I don't spend my time in my normal day-to-day talking about game servers, but I like this stuff, man. It's cool. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, give us your comments. You got any good memories of Need for Speed? If you're on PlayStation as well, if you want a hand with getting that platinum, if you've run out of friends, drop me a message in the comments. We'll try and sort something out. I do want to help people if they need it. If they really need the help to get that platinum, just drop me a message. We'll organise something. It won't take us long to get it, and I know what to do. And I'm always keen to have some races on Rivals before it shuts down as well. And if you want to play any other Need for Speed, my door's always open, guys. See you soon.